Attention gamers. In my last ranked game the enemy team had a Teemo support running smite, which made it kind of obvious that he would try something cheeky, and since we were all apparently hard stuck and too introverted to make the first move and ask one of the ladies to dance, he got away with the red buff heist like the little butt munching bandit he is. But this whole let the mole rat dress up like a superhero and steal a buff Make-A-Wish foundation for the stupidity syndrome ridden troll only lasted so long, as he then was all greedy gerbil status wanting Diana's blue buff as well, so they killed him. Then we found him trying to spit all over our homegrown chickens, so we decided to kill him. Then he killed our forest leg Gromp, so we killed him again. Then he went for the white meat MC tendies again, same story different ending, because this time his butt buddies came in asking why Rift Alexa was moaning on about their support Teemo reenacting his favorite show 1000 Ways to Die, so we killed them too. Then we caught the little knee nibbling kleptomaniac at our blue, so we killed him again. Then he was trying to take Golem, so guess what, we killed him. He tried to spit on my face at one point, but I ran away and the homeboys killed him again. Everything about this performance reeked of reportable troll, as he was speed running the Summoner's Rift death record, but somehow, someway, he was the same level as our jungler. And the first time I ran into Iron Man's gooch hair all alone, I actually had to make like a fetus and head out, only to see that he then had his way with our giga-fed AD carry. Their Jinx wasn't exactly enjoying the fact that she didn't have a real support, and I was making Synapse clip-worthy sexy bomb pops, but it was a much harder win than I expected it to be, and that trolling Teemo was the reason with the biggest wiener on the damage girth metrics at the end, which made me question how he spent so much time in Fountain but had such an impact on the game. Turns out he wasn't autofilled or trying to lose like most morons you see pulling these stunts, as he was actually in his promotional series, and this seemingly slobber me stupid strategy was yielding him a 60% win rate in ranked. So today I figured I would break down one of his recent games from his perspective to see what on earth this counter jungling Teemo support strategy is and how it's seemingly working in this piss pit elo, and that maybe you and I are just playing the game wrong. Or playing the wrong game for that matter, because we could be playing Raid Shadow. Kidding, totally not going to talk about a sponsor now. It's not like I need to tell you about the monopoly that Raid has over the mobile gaming scene, that even fetuses inside of pregnant ladies have heard of it. It's not like Raid is celebrating its 3rd birthday, which means a world with 3 years of Raid ads, which would call for something poetic like listing the 3 most badass champions. Cause if I would talk about Elhain hands down, as she may only be blue but her spin shot is so satisfyingly slaughterous, so she is numero 3. Then I just opened a glorious gold shard and got Pestilus, so he's gotta be my second because the flame pillars are spicy hot, and then the all-time most badass champ is War Maiden, reasons being self-explanatory. And if this was a Raid ad, it'd be worth saying, because of its 3rd B day there are all kinds of new champs, artifact sets, shards and dank goodies that would make for quite the party, and if I were to end it I would probably say to check my link in the description or scan this QR code, which gives special new player bonuses like this $40 value including champs and brews, but even existing players get a bonus worth $25 for using promo code 3yearsRaid, and then I'd thank Raid for the sponsor and invite you to try it today.
Raid Shadow Legends.
Okay, so now on to the things we actually will be covering in this video. You see superhero numbnuts here having to clear a Nest doorbell camera because any enemy team who sees a smite support Teemo knows that little shitter will be up to no good, but that still doesn't stop this pocket-sized Superman stand from shedding his furry gooch hairs all over the enemy's topside jungle. He then sprints his Q-tip-sized legs straight to the southern stream, because the prophecy has it that a small crab will be crawling out of the ground's anus, and killing it will shove some of its dead caffeinated remains straight up his poop chute to speed him over to his own jungler's dogs to adopt as his own pets before killing them. This puts him in a good spot to respond to the itty-bitty bat symbol in the sky saying a large ogre wielding a giant frozen elephant turd as a weapon is attacking, so he runs over to hawk a few loogies in that club-toed troll's face, and with that piece of shit serving a stupidity sentence back in base, it's a perfect time to kill the blue dude's self-splitting rock collection, which he knows is worth a quick hundo if he gets the whole bunch. He's then trying to nab some McNuggets from enemy territory when he notices their windshitter and his ugly friend are tag teaming his mid laner, and just because she has 9 tails doesn't mean she has 9 lives, but luckily red team's real jungler is feeling steamy, and they say not all heroes wear capes, but this spitting hairy ballsack sure as hell does, as he delivers the darters up that troll's farter before shifting his attention to that bloody tampon of a champione and showing his true hard-stuck colors. But Beppo the super monkey is just like a fly around a pile of horse shit. You can swat him away, but he'll be right back to pester the absolute piss out of you as he kites to avoid the troll bites, and then turns this shit fest into something comical where some giant slobbering behemoth is running for his life from a comic book cosplaying chipmunk, to which the little devious douchebag decides to take his reverse mitosis sing rock pets for his troubles. But things get hairy when some stage surfing skank shows up threatening to use her Twitter following to cancel the little gerbil, which gives Fred Flintstone over here the confidence to come in and try to impress Sona 2.0, only to still die before the thief gets retweeted back to base. But it's almost like this small shroom addict has a bad case of OCD, because every time he died mid-task he had to run straight back there to finish it before taking a quick breather in the safety of his own forest by stealing camps from his own jungler for a bit. Then the mischievous midget heads straight back onto private property and posts up straight Bloons tower defense style, knowing that Blue Tiki Hut fuck Muffin will be coming in saying I spy something red, but our little superhero is like, you can't spy shit when they're poison spit in your eyes, this my red buff now you dumb blue bitch. So we see the trolling terror continues. And it looks like the fundamental backbone of this strategy mid-game is to go stealthy mole rat status right by a big buff, wait for some unsuspecting scrub to come over expecting to PvE for a bit, only to have a piece of furry shit gerbil blowing tranquilizers at your ass before taking the buff himself literally over your dead body. Now for any naysayers in the comments saying this kid is reportedly trolling, I think you'd be interested to know that he lovingly gives up the blue buff he's been lubing up for himself when his jungler wants it, which is something that most try-hard mouth-breathing meta followers wouldn't even do, at least in my games, as you see the intimidation stare down take place. You even see the little Mr. Incredible son hard simping for his foxy mama, trying to impress her by killing other creatures his height, and when a threat approaches and his dashing damsel in distress finds herself getting fruit ninja'd by a windshitter, he aims that straw saliva right at the perpetrator's idiotic irises, kills him off, and then continues being the support who is diffing their blue ball jungler. Now I've heard if you ever run into a bear in the wild you are supposed to stand very still, according to the millions of people on the internet who commonly fend off bear attacks, and it looks like our pocket-sized protagonist is applying that concept to trolls as well, only to pop out probably not expecting King Spin to win, but hell, this little douchebag doesn't discriminate. He'll give the Philly fake out to any Tom, Dick or Harry who wants it, knowing Tiki Tits and his ice club will come in to give up the gold he just got from that fat frog anyways. Quick reminder that this Teemo we're watching is the red team's support, in case you forgot, and despite not being to his lane once, he is still strong enough to outplay the piss out of Draven's dickhead brother by simply standing still and spitting until the fight's over. And then for dessert might as well take one more pass at the diabetic frog and anything else he can grab on the way out to make sure Trundle's blue buff virginity remains intact. And for some responsible administrative details for context, it's now 20 minutes into the game. The poor soul ADC who he has voluntarily abandoned is getting bent over and Riley read it on repeat, but he himself is in fact tied for the highest level in the game with 2 levels and 50 farm on the enemy jungler, so let's see how this plays out. He escorts that Phoenix fetish West Virginia looking chick up top, only for her to feel the wrath of a fed full build Yone, but it's no big deal to him as he has now unlocked the quest title labeled split pushing support, and upon further research it looks like even when he gets caught in the act of being a counter jungler cuck lord, he just announces that he's sponsored by a phone company and goes full blown T-Mobile to escape the danger in secret, a nice safe spot to launch the spitters at those chasing shitters before going back to peacefully taxing every other player on the rift. At this point he's ready to get down on one knee in front of a lane and propose, because it's time to settle down with one, as anyone who tries to get in his way is in for a surprise. You see, this piece of shit Teemo is actually a patient man. He's willing to let his foes cool off and think about if they truly want to stop him from doing his work, so he steps out, slaughters a tadpole who got off the tit milk too late in life before returning to see that some people just can't come to their senses, so he murders that mouth-breathing Yone for having brains of baloney, and then it was time to send a message to anyone else who thinks stopping a severely growth-stunted Superman will result in anything but themselves becoming a speed bump on his way to an easy victory, that he may still get reported for. And I gotta say, this dude has so many shrooms around him at all times you can practically hear the Beatles singing, while any enemy who thinks they have the right to step into their own neck of the woods soon isn't going to be hearing much of anything anymore. It appears after a certain point he shifts his focus from being a certified dickwad in the jungle to using his large presence to fill a lane, considering he can 1v1 even champs who are endowed with 200 years of game design in their kits to make up for the fact that people who one-trick them don't know the ingredients to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, all while he does indeed participate in any team building exercises, like ones involving a large choreographed circle jerk of a toothy worm monster, while murdering anyone who tries to enter without an invitation as he finds himself the last little man but with a big heart and an even bigger set of balls for consistently sticking to this strategy that I'd imagine results in him getting reported 100% of the times it doesn't work, but you can't argue with the results he's getting more than half the time when he wins, and for that, he has my respect and probably also my report if my support ever pulls shit like this on me. Please spit on my subscribe button as I am aroused at the thought of 500k subs approaching. Rav out.